Hi, CIT 325. This is Jose Covarrubias, and this is my presentation for this week. I will talk about lexical units, and I'll start right off with comments. There's two ways of making a comment: single comment, single line comment, or a multiple line comment. And this might be familiar to most of you, and if not, I hope this presentation will come handy. To start off, a single line comment starts with two dash signs or symbols with a space to indicate that it's a single line comment. A multiple line comment starts with a forward slash asterisk and then ends with an asterisk and a forward slash, as you can see here in my example. Then this is used throughout my file here, which I will share with you and I will run in a minute. The second part that I want to talk about is about the basic building blocks of the language. Just like in any other language, whether it be in a computer language or an Asian language, there are blocks or lexical units that help the learner build upon to learn in the language and understand what the language is doing or saying. In computer programming, these lexical blocks are a bit different among the various coding languages. For example, declaring a variable and its data type in Java, C++, or PSQL is not the same. Calling functions, requesting input from the user, assigning values to variables, and so forth. Each have certain rules that the programmer must adhere to for the code to run and compile properly. And as we seen so far in the during the textbook on this 3 weeks of this class, is that those lexical units are, understanding how comments are made, how variables are declared, what pieces go into a programming or a running compiled script. We understand so far that we have to declare variables, we have to use certain words to begin and end certain functions or statements in our code, and that would be expanded in just a minute. The other important part of the lexical units is to understand the delimiters. And what's a delimiter? Based on the dictionary.com, it says that the delimiter is a blank space, a comma, or other character or symbol that indicates the beginning or end of a character, string, word, or data item. The textbook says that delimiters are symbols or symbol sets, and they can act as a delimiter or provide other functions. In programming languages, other functions that provide lexical delimiters are assignment, association, concatenation, comparison, math, and statement controls. Here in my small sample of code, I will use some of those delimiters. I will not use all of them because time constraints, but you will get the idea. Here I'm declaring a variable or two variables to say, and that is part of a delimiter too. Declaring a variable is a user-defined delimiter. Here I'm using another delimiters, the quote marks, single quote marks. You can use that to store a string into a variable. There's also another delimiter, an assignment delimiter. This is the only assignment delimiter used on PSQL. The colon and the equal sign. There is also another delimiter that we've seen quite a lot these 2-3 weeks, which is the concatenation, which helps us to put two pieces of data together. In this case, my literal string and the string that is contained within my variable. Also, there's the ampersand symbol used to request input from the user. When you use this, the variable automatically would be storing input received from the user. One of the best practice mentioned in the textbook is that you do not include the substitution variable in a declared block. You do not want to put this type of variable inside this part. It would not be catched by your exclusion or exception block, where would warn or print out the error message depending on what the error has been triggered for. The last part of this is the user-defined identifiers. Like I said, variables are those user-defined identifiers, and there are a few simple rules to follow, and some of them are that your user-defined identifiers have to begin with the letter, and they can include some of the symbols, which is the $, the dash, and the underscore. And also they cannot use a ampersand, a hyphen, or a dash, or space. For example, here I have a set of variables, and you can see that I've used words, symbols, numbers, and the rest of those symbols declared here on those rules. If I was to use any of these, it will definitely trigger an error message. The last part of it, before I run the code, is the double quote marks used to declare a delimiter. And this is interesting because this will allow you to use reserved words in the PL/SQL language. And this is interesting because although you can do it, it is not recommended and it is not best practice to do it. Let's stop talking and let's run the code. So I've run it already a couple of times to make sure that it was running properly. So I will call this file, and as you can see, it's asking me for input. So I will type my name, and we see that it created the message, or run the code that I indicate. There's my part where I talk about what's a delimiter. Here's my input, and here's how all those variables, declared variables, work just fine. And this is the last part where you can use the double quotation marks to use the reserved word. But I hope this comes handy to you guys, and I'm waiting for your comments. Thank you.